We're back in the building. Zoe's final thought. It's important that we cover this. Like I said before, we have to control the narrative, our narrative. If we do not control our narrative like other people control their narratives, right? Native Americans mad at David Schneider, Daniel Snyder, owner of the Washington Redskins. You don't get to call your team the Redskins no more. And we're going to take it all the way to civil court, all the way to the Supreme Court. Again, controlling the narrative. Stop accepting the story that somebody said was your story. Okay? Let me just say it again. Please remember that the bishop is still in the king's court, and he follows the rules of the king. Please understand that. Whether positive or negative in its expression, thought is always creative, meaning it's always constructive. As long as you are thinking, you are the architect of your reality. So now you got to question the thoughts you have. And are they an original thought? Right? Or are you living a life that was already predetermined by the social game rules that was waiting on you when you were born? We've got to challenge these things. That's the purpose of this show. It's not to disrespect any one religion, but Christianity is a burden on Black Americans, just like Christianity is a burden on Africans. Desmond Tutu, he said when they came over here, they came with Bibles, and we all prayed. And when we opened our eyes, we were holding the Bible, and they owned the land. Please understand, it's a burden globally, right? I'm asking us to challenge whatever we think we were told as the truth. You're afraid of the devil because you were taught to be afraid of the devil, but you don't know the devil represents knowledge. Who created masonry? Black people, the Moors. We're the ones, listen, Baphomet, the goat of Mendez, Baphomet. Some say it's a phonetic corruption of the word Muhammad, Baphomet, just like they say Mohammed. Oh, but it's a goat. Well, the black people used to worship the goat. It was called Amun-Ra. So I'm going to re-freak your culture and make it evil, but I own it and use it and practice it. And I give you a remix, a diet version of your spiritual belief. So I can keep you disconnected from your belief. Because if I give you your belief, I give you your sovereignty. You can't be sovereign and governed at the same time. I want to govern you. So I must take your sovereignty. The root word of sovereign is reign. Power to do. We don't have power to do. We're Charles Barkley all over this motherfucker. Unintelligent, uneducated black people. Don't you know the best thing or the worst thing that can happen to a good, strong black man is a great European education? Don't you know that undoes him? Wow. Because it strips the knowledge of self of who he really is. Let me keep it going. There are gatekeepers in our life. Part of the gatekeepers will judge you based off of your educational background. Part of the gatekeepers will judge you off of your religious background. The Masons, some of them, quote unquote, worship the light. According to Albert Pike, they said they were Luciferians, those who worship Lucifer, the light bearer. You've been sold what? A narrative of what evil is. What did they call Egypt back in the day? They called it the light of the world. Once the white went into Egypt and took all of the knowledge, the Alexandria Library. Once they took all of the knowledge, they changed the name from the light of the world to the dark continent. Please understand, they took the light out of the continent. And when they took the light out of the continent, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, all of these fools had to wait 20 years before they could get into the mystery schools. Some of them even 40 years before they can get into the mystery schools. We created masonry. Why? Because we created the greatest Masonic feat in the world, the pyramids. Now the pyramid is a symbol of the Illuminati and evil? Yo culture. If we don't get control of our narrative, we're going to have greasy finger, chicken eating, diabetes having preachers up there telling Reverend Rib Shack telling us that Egypt is not a part of Africa. And this fool got a PhD behind his name. Stop worshiping the God that enslaved you. How about it? Give it a chance. See what can come out of it. I know, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I just want to say, man, that's my final thought, and I love you all, but we got to do better. We got to study. We got to show ourselves approved. We can't accept anything that everybody says. We got to challenge everything. We got to challenge the pastor. If your pastor don't speak the language of the Bible, and I'm not talking about King James, if he doesn't speak Amharic, if he doesn't speak Aramaic, if he doesn't speak Ashuric, if he doesn't speak Arabic, Greek, Latin, if he don't know the word, he don't know the word. He don't know. He just know how to behave in a reverend-like way. Ah, Jesus. That's money. That equals bread. We got to do different. We got to do different. We got to be fearless. With that said,